Before I start this video, I just want to say that this video is fair use, so all the media used in this video is used for criticism, review in a transformative way. All the information I present is public information, and everything else is alleged, a joke, or my opinion. So you guys probably already know this, but Jake Paul hosted like this huge party. I believe it was last week. Ton of Mojo was there, a bunch of people were there. It was a really big party, nobody was wearing masks, nobody was staying 6 feet apart, obviously, it's a party. And Jake Paul has made it very, very obvious that he just doesn't care. Like, one of his friends who was at the party ended up testing positive for coronavirus, and he was basically calling all his friends that he's been hanging out with just to make sure that they know that they might have it, because obviously he's got it. This is all filmed. He did this like for a video, and he called Jake Paul, and he just didn't care. Like, he said straight out that he literally doesn't care. He was very chill and calm about the situation throughout the entire time, so he obviously doesn't give a fuck.
Hey Jake.
Hello?
Are you worried about it?
Not really. We don't care.
And then the mayor came out and basically said that they are very angry about this and that it's not okay. And the mayor has now come out and said that the city is considering taking legal action against Jake Paul because of this. And now they're asking anyone who knows of giant gatherings or parties like this that are happening to call the city code enforcement hotline. A TikToker from the clubhouse also had a birthday bash. I'm pretty sure his name is Larry, and a bunch of other people were there, including Charlie D'Amelio and James Charles and stuff like that. And it was a really big party, and obviously nobody was wearing masks or staying 6 feet apart. I'm pretty sure the only person that was still wearing a mask was Kova from the Hype House, and that was about it. So yeah, we love influencers not giving a fuck about other people's health. I mentioned before in one of my older videos that Jake Paul's fans were turning up to his apartment, just completely invading his privacy, and then he tweeted out eventually saying like, don't come to my apartment, I will not sign whatever the fuck you have for me, I will not take a picture with you, and it's just a huge invasion of privacy, and a lot of people got angry at him for wanting to feel safe in his own house. But he has recently moved house, and now his fans have found his house again, and are now again turning up to his house, asking for photos, they're filming videos, just again being very creepy, and it's just absolute. I just don't get it. Like, if your fave comes out to say, you turning up to my house makes me feel uncomfortable, which shouldn't really need to be said in the first place, I guess, unless it's like fucking Jake Paul during the Team 10 era where he literally just let everyone come to his house. But normal people do not want strangers coming to their house and taking videos and photos and stuff like that, because it is creepy and it makes them feel unsafe in the one place that they are supposed to feel safe. Like, I don't understand how fans can be like, oh my god, I love this person so much, but if this person asks me not to turn up unannounced to their house since they don't know me, then I'm not gonna respect that, because fuck them. Like, how does that work in your brain? He also went on Logan Paul's podcast, Impulsive. He was talking about some guys that he had hooked up with, and he mentioned that he had hooked up with guys that have a following on TikTok, and then people started speculating because he was then filming TikToks, or were filming TikToks with guys, members of the male species. And then this girl came out to say that he was using the okay, basically what happened is, I'm pretty sure the guy's name is Noah. So people were speculating. I believe she made her own video speculating about it, and then somebody commented under her video, Noah is straight. And then, you know how you could do those video responses to comments under your TikToks? She did that. And she basically said that James Charles was using his sexuality to get attention, because he could basically talk about hooking up with TikTok guys and people would start speculating, and that would give him attention. And James Charles himself commented under that, basically saying that it was just like stupid and that she needed to delete the TikTok. And then she got mad at him for, like, it was a whole thing. And it's, again, it's just so baffling. Like, you understand that somebody can be friends with somebody who has got a following on this platform, as well as hooking up with different people who are also on that platform. Like, it's nobody's business who he has and hasn't hooked up with. And if you're gonna be one of those people speculating who he has or has not hooked up with, do not get mad at him for giving you the potential to speculate. If you are so mad about him using his sexuality, then don't enable him and give him the attention that you say that he is trying to get from using his sexuality. I just feel like this girl gives off that energy of guys who always give other gay guys shit for like flaunting their sexuality and not having a personality outside of their sexuality. But then you go on their Instagram and the only picture they have is of them holding a fish. You sound dumb. Like, let him talk about his sex life or his love life without you trying to claim that a gay guy talking about hooking up with guys is using his sexuality. So Jeffree Star's apology came out, and I'm pretty sure everyone's already like seen it, heard about it, or whatever the fuck, but I'm just gonna go through it and over it because it was an absolute train wreck.
I've spent a lot of time Just realizing stuff, and everyone around me were all just like
realizing things.
A year ago, I did a video called Never Doing This Again, and I meant that. When I filmed my video called Never Doing It Again, I meant every word in the video.
So that was a fucking lie.
A lot of people were putting a time stamp, like, Jeffree, you need to speak on this right now. And I think that we live in a world where people are just so used to doing what people want right away, and that's not good either. I didn't try to take anyone down. I'm not a villain in a movie. We have to all take accountability for our own actions and no one else's. And that's what I will continue to do. And if I don't, please fucking remind me.
First of all, we've been reminding you. You just don't care and you just don't address it because you're not a good person. And how are you going to tell us to remind you when you've turned off the comments? He did this in his racism video as well. He turned off the comments, and like, he's made these apology videos before. If you have to make multiple apology videos on the same topic, then you have not changed and you have not grown. The racism video was 3 years ago. This video is now. You had 3 years to not be racist and you couldn't do that.
I let people really gas me up, get me going behind the scenes, and I really fell for a lot of things and I got caught up in the hype.
You were the manipulator behind the scenes. You were the petty James hater that was gassing up other... You can't be like, what's your opinion on James Charles because you hate him, and then when people respond, call that gassing you up. And then we all know that he moved on to Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. He even said in his video, like, I know people are gonna say that I'm using this as a distraction. You are using this as a distraction. You don't care about people of color. How are you gonna say Breonna Taylor hasn't gotten justice, a bunch of other black people haven't gotten justice, when you still haven't proven to anyone that you aren't racist anymore? Jeffree Star is the definition of performative activism. You cannot say, well, black people aren't getting justice and therefore all the shitty things that I have done doesn't matter because there are bigger things to worry about. We can worry about multiple things. We can bring attention to the fact that none of the officers who killed Breonna Taylor have been arrested, while also holding you accountable for being a really shitty person. Obviously, he didn't address any of this in his video. He literally just said that he was sorry to James Charles, and then the rest of his video was just literally, he said nothing. He literally, it's wild. So somebody who works specifically with audio and audio clips and videos and stuff like that, I'm not exactly sure what their specific job description is, but they work with like audio and they analyze audio and stuff like that. They went on Twitter and mentioned how the audio in Jeffree Star's apology video changed when he mentioned Elijah McClain, and a lot of people think that he either said the wrong name or just messed up on the name and had to like re-say his name and put that on top of it, which then brings up the question of whether or not he actually cares. I personally don't think he does, even if he did say Elijah McClain's name properly. So here's the audio clip if that influences your opinion.
Now, Breonna Taylor still has no justice. Black trans women are being murdered every day and the news is silent. Elijah McClain has no justice. I've never blackmailed anyone in my life. I've never committed a crime before, and I've never been to jail.
How can you genuinely say with a straight face that you've never blackmailed anyone when the Snapchat story of you saying that nobody comes for you because you have dirt on everyone is such a well-known video that exists?
Because I have dirt on everyone, and they know to keep their mouths shut.
You hit my mom at an orgy concert with your purse.
Yeah, this person aimed my last interview and said that. No, it's true. My mom was really rude to me at a show, so I took my purse and just beat her over the head with it.
What was her reaction?
She started screaming. Just because I'm skinny doesn't mean I'm not crazy. I've been in jail 3 times for assault, just so everyone knows.
So obviously he's lying in one of these two situations. Even if he hasn't been to jail and he's telling the truth now, he has still participated in revenge porn and has allegedly sexually assaulted multiple people.
Drama and the beauty world, which I have definitely been a part of, it all has to stop.
Jeffree, you are the one that starts all the drama. Dramageddon 1, you were involved. Dramageddon 2, you were involved. Carmageddon, now you are involved. You are the only common denominator in all 3 of these events. Also, a lot of the things that are coming out about you is more than drama. And then he basically ends the video saying that he supports Shane Dawson and Shane Dawson supports him. they just don't support each other's past actions. And then he promotes his own cosmetic brand for the last chunk of his video. In conclusion, he hasn't changed, and I don't believe that he will change. So Pokimane recently tweeted out saying, in this industry, a girl fucks up, what a fake bitch, such a worthless piece of shit, also go down a hole. A guy fucks up, OMG king, don't worry, everyone makes mistakes, we know you have a good heart and we'll be here for you forever. Some people responded to it saying, no, like, guys give other guys a lot more shit. And there were also a lot of responses where people were just like, no, you can't just make this like generalized comment. Like, a lot of, like, it's always a case by case. Like, yeah, obviously there are some guys that don't get held accountable, but there are also a lot of girls that don't get held. Like, I feel like that was a really weak argument, because it's very similar to the not all men or not all straights argument, which is very weak and irritating. And she did address it, saying that it was a generalized comment. I don't know much about Twitch or the community and stuff like that, because I'm not part of it. I'm not necessarily going to say whether or not I agree with the statement in regards to the Twitch community, but I will say that if it came from anyone else, I would be a lot more sympathetic and understanding, because Pokimane is not a good online personality. She does abuse her power, and nobody in her fan base really cares because she's pretty, and that's kind of her entire thing. It's kind of like the Gabby Hanna tweets. Like, some things that Gabby Hanna tweets out do make sense and I do agree with, but a lot of it I don't agree with, in the sense that it's coming from her. Like, she'll complain about the way that people are being treated in the YouTube community and stuff like that, and it's like, yes, but you brought that upon yourself because you're a shitty person. Lele Pons also recently released a new show / documentary kind of thing, and it's kind of like the secret life of Lele Pons and how her life is actually really hard, despite the fact she might seem to have a perfect life because she's like rich and famous or whatever. The majority of it is just focusing on the hate that she gets and how much everyone doesn't like her, and there's a very obvious sympathy grab when they show some comments that she has received that are like genuinely bad comments. They're like death threats and stuff like that. But the thing is, the majority of the like hate that she gets is like actual constructive criticism of her character and her humor, because both of the things I just listed fucking sucks. And every influencer and everyone who has a slight following on any platform really, but especially on YouTube, will get death threats and stuff like that from people that just don't like them and think it's okay to say stuff like kill yourself because they just don't like them. And yeah, those are bad, but don't use them as a sympathy grab when you're just not a good person, and the majority of the things that people bring up are actually very relevant things. It's not just that. I feel like the entire show is a sympathy grab. There was nothing about how she faked donating her hair. There was nothing about how she deleted Amanda Sani's Instagram and YouTube videos when they were supposedly best friends because she wanted to be bigger than her and better than her and more famous than her. There's nothing about how she was rude to Jessie Smiles and her brother because she couldn't handle the fact that Jessie was more famous than her and had more followers than her, and the fact that her brother had no followers whatsoever, and how she showed no character growth in the fake Lele Pons in her book, which was supposed to be based off the real Lele Pons. And there's just a lot of things, and she's not a good person, and she tried to make it a thing just to purely victimize herself and act as if the only reason people hate her is because she's ugly and because she's not funny and because she's Latina. Like, those aren't necessarily reasons. Like, people do hate on her because she's not funny, because objectively she is not funny. But do not use your looks and your race in order to try and convince people that you are the victim, because there's nothing wrong you could have possibly done to get so much hate. So that's all I have for you guys today. If you like this video or if you liked me, please like and subscribe. If you didn't like me, then make sure to get in contact with my teachers, because I bet you'll have a lot in common. And make sure to stay safe and stay hydrated.